It's Bloodborne time.
Welcome back, everybody. It's about time we revisit the top 10 epic kills category to see just how far we've come as a community. This was the first topic for Bloodborne on the channel, and at that point Bloodborne had only just been released 1 or 2 weeks before. So it's time to update the records. Fresh new Bloodborne video coming right up. Let's begin at number 10. Zach Brown has initiated a duel in the Nightmare of Mensis, summoning invaders until he's met this one opponent using the whirligig saw while he's using the Kirk hammer. So far it's been a pretty even match, with his opponent now pulling out 2 surprise cannon shots, taking the lead. Just notice his full stack of healing blood vials. This host literally has all the space and time in the world to heal up, but he's choosing not to. And his opponent could absolutely do the same, but he's instead chosen to generate blood bullets, which removes 30% of your HP. These mad lads spontaneously created a last hit win scenario, and both kept their honour to the very end. That is much rarer than you think in Bloodborne, because healing is so hard to punish normally. Scorched Knight is dueling in the Chalice dungeons, a rare sight indeed. Scorched Knight with the burial blade, his opponent with the bow blade. Coming up is one of the slickest moves you will ever see with this scythe. That is absolutely stunning. Scorched Knight dashes forwards, baiting an attack from the Madara's Whistle Hunter tool, then backstepping into an R1 Burial Blade attack, pulls the host toward him into his own gigantic snake summoned from below. Next up is Moros Nyx. This one's interesting. It's our first PvE entry, although it happens to be jolly cooperation as well between 2 players deep in the Chalice dungeons. There are randomized boss room formations. This one just so happens to have bottomless pits around the circumference. Now we all know that there are invisible barriers preventing bosses from falling into these pits, but players don't have that safeguard luxury. So apart from that being maybe one of the fastest Elder kills ever, we learn a new exploit today, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a rare one. Both players are using the Fist of Gratia, a left-handed weapon from the DLC that has an extremely high stagger rate, very good for interrupting enemies. Now of course this boss is unusual because it can teleport. However, with these 2 players gut punching it continuously, it caused the Elder to stagger during his teleport and miss his landing. The Casual is a great player who has uploaded many impressive Bloodborne feats on his channel in the past. Today you see him take on the formidable Shark Giant twins. This pair can be found in the fishing hamlet, and they have made people cry and also made people die, and that's a fact. Turns out they can be backstabbed and eliminated incredibly quickly, just 20 seconds in this clip for both of them to be precise. And keep in mind this account is a puny level 4 with base stats, but he does have a crazy attack rating of 919 with Beast Blood Pellets, a plus 10 Sword Cleaver and some decent poor man's gems that increase attack when you're near death, aka below 30% of your total health. Hopefully you remember in episode 12, Chalice Dungeon Moments, we had Camis take the first place, defeating Ebrietas in a cursed dungeon with just a torch. It was insane, one of the best boss kills I've seen. Well, we have a different variation of the Ebrietas challenge. Today Altair takes on Ebrietas in a cursed, rotted and fetid dungeon at base level, blood level 4, with a pretty good setup like a max sword cleaver with almost 600 AR and some poor man gems, but here's the crucial restriction. He's doing this as part of a series beating Chalice bosses with only 1 health point. so that's impressive alone. But there's one more thing to remember. Ebrietas has multiple phases, and in phase 2, she summons a damaging aura around her. To put it simply, if he stays too close to her for a fraction of a second too long, he dies instantly. She doesn't even have to physically touch him. Just notice how much distance he tries to keep between them. He can only really get 1 or 2 hits in here and there, whenever she overextends. That was impressive, and done in a normal circular arena too. No kiting her around holes or anything like that, just straight up skill and a lot of patience. Lee Kane takes number 5, and this guy must be a writer. He really opens his email with, "The aesthetics of violence is a major theme in Bloodborne, and hacking your foes to bloody chunks in the mud like a frenetic butcher is the desired outcome." So he's doing some low-level invasions in the Forbidden Woods. Weapon of choice here is the Beast Cutter. As he says, the potential for catching dodges is definitely up there, and it's got great range as well. The problem, as it is so often, is he finds out the host has backup in the form of 2 summons. One of his opponents is actually applying Bone Marrow Ash on his pistol shots. That made your butthole clench, didn't it? If he hadn't smacked into the rock right there, he probably would have killed one of his opponents. Notice how well the Beast Cutter is performing though. With the wide swings, it's great for crowd control. This is Lee Kane bravely holding his ground and fighting back to the absolute best of his ability. And you can see it's paid off. He's killed one, and even the odds slightly more to his favour. Yes, he actually did just get hit in the back by the Hunter Axe spinning attack. The invader in this case needs to keep retreating to reclaim space, otherwise you just get overwhelmed and die. They've come all the way down to the shadows of Yharnam Fogdoor, so here is where he must make his final stand. And he did it! That is another enemy down. Seems like he just ran out of healing and got in too close. The Beast Cutter's range really shouldn't be underestimated. And now that things are finally more fair, this is where they retrace their steps. But if you thought this was going to end peacefully and smoothly, you need to think again. This whole invasion has been a fight for survival, and it's going to end as savagely as it started. That was a journey, and sometimes those are the best kinds of invasions. Kanevo has been doing some really cool experiments with the elevator leading up from Murgo's base. He's on a level 65 with 50 arcane and an uncanny parasite plus 10 with some top tier flat arcane gems. And of course, his obvious appearance. He's a transformed celestial kin with the milkweed rune so that he can perform one of the strongest attacks in the game, the devastating trick mode multi-hitting arcane explosion. This is definitely going down as another huge win for From Software elevators. He's got a similar setup here at the Wet Nurse elevator. Again, the jump has to be perfect. There are no other spots you can land on, it has to be in the dead center. This one's even better to me because he gets 2 people co-oping, and they're so aggressive from the beginning. They come in swiping round the corners, assuming he's going to be somewhere ambushing them. And they're absolutely right, he absolutely is. but there's nothing they can do about it. What's even funnier is that guy messaged him afterwards, and he got another one successfully later, who took it really well. The guy said he hadn't played in months and was a noob, so Canefo sent him screenshots showing him how he did it. And then somehow the guy ended up subscribing to his YouTube channel, so that's a heartwarming story. We can definitely all feel good about that one. Robert has invaded on a blood level 60, 35 blood tinge, and some extremely rare, out-of-shape blood tinge gems. The weapon he's wielding is the blood letter, and he's concealed himself with the blue elixir item for 30 seconds. Well over 2,000 total damage in that one explosion. That was the transformed special attack, which lifts the blood letter overhead and slams it down, creating a frenzy shockwave. Yes, it actually inflicts frenzy, even on the player using it. This weapon is mighty, one that needs to be used very, very carefully. Coming in at number 2 is our man Comrade, a hero in the community invading in the research hall, spotting a trio of players across the room and instantly deciding to lure them to his latest new glorious trap. The items he's dropping are called shiny coins. They're a consumable like prism stones, very useful to light up a path you want players to take, in this case from the first elevator to the one opposite. He knows what to do, he knows what subtle movements and actions to take, which convince players to do what he wants without them fully realizing. So this second elevator is different. It's got a ledge halfway down that you can quietly slip into. Now he's around level 100 with the Ludwig's blade buffed up with bolt paper. So that has to be a new contender for the best elevator clip, and I freaking love elevator clips, so this makes me so happy. He backsteps from the hallway adjoining the elevator shaft, fell right through the hatch in the top of the elevator, and crushed the host in 2 summons. I seriously thought it was a triple kill, but somehow the host survives with not even a pixel of health. Actually, how has he survived that? It's insane. I just imagine the whole way down he's charging his energy, ready to unleash it on this poor host who stopped him getting a clean triple kill. I can see the light, the white light. This is a player who is torturing themselves in a brand new way, something this community loves to see. As you may have already noticed, White Light is facing the Vicar Amelia boss fight, but something here shouldn't be possible. There's a second NPC fighting alongside her, the Bloody Crow of Canehurst. How has this happened? Essentially, there's a Vicar Amelia skip that lets you enter the Forbidden Woods earlier than you're supposed to. It's used a lot in speedruns, exploiting the geometry of the level in order to achieve a death cam state, which lets you bypass the password door into the Forbidden Woods. All that means in this instance is White Light has used that skip to force spawn the boss Amelia and the Crow together to make for an astonishingly challenging fight. In terms of restrictions, we haven't even got started. He's only attacking with a near-death gem Chikage in blood mode, and he isn't allowing himself any healing, which, once you've done the maths, you realise this is a fight where he has only 35 attacks to make until he dies. And that's because he has the maximum health possible to still be in a near-death state, so as the weapon HP drain is 1 hit point per attack, this gives him 35 ticks in total. The reason why they're so strong and have so much health is because this is new game plus 6, and his stats are 50 blood tinge and 40 stamina. The Crow is focused on first, and it's the final NPC in the Eileen questline if you're wondering. He's a very tough hunter with a Chikage and repeating pistol, with just over 10,000 health points on New Game Plus 6. However, he also heals once, for a grand total of 15,500 1000 damage, which means White Light needs to do as many counter hits as possible to maximize his damage. Once the Crow is eventually defeated, the boss herself won't take as long because it's easier to get counter hits on the face for extremely high damage. The hardest part here is the second phase. At 50% health, she's able to start healing, and even just a second of healing would make him fail the challenge instantly. That was phenomenal. Great work. That's a very unique challenge, a very cool looking one. Well people, we'll continue this trend for now, redoing some of the old Bloodborne top 10s and making them better. One I've really wanted to revisit for ages, and is also highly requested, is top 10 stealth kills. So that's sneaky online fights with surprise tactics. That's the next topic for Bloodborne. Any clips you have, send to top10souls@gmail.com. Further instructions are down below. New videos coming soon and more frequently.
Bye, have a great time.